Emotions are not only in the mind, they exist in the body as well. There is a body, a cellular component of the emotions that is stored at different points in the body. When it comes to cases of trauma, we've seen that in particular, that trauma is not only in the mind. Somehow the cells of the body have trapped some bit of trauma into the system. I know of people, patients and clients, who talk about that how there is shock stored in their body. Now, irrespective of the number of events that may have happened, less or more, irrespective of the amount of work in terms of psychological healing and counseling or therapy sessions that they've been to, if the component of the body has not been addressed, the shock, the trauma remains in the body. There is always a percentage that will go unnoticed and unhealed. These emotions are usually carrying the component of getting into the cellular structure. Exactly how is it happening? What really happens? Well, these are answers that neuroscience is still trying to find out. We do know that in cases of trauma, in cases of severe shock that comes in, the body absorbs it. Even a painful birth for the baby can be a point of trauma. Something that's been coming from generations is also a part of trauma. It's like, if you've had a mother who's been anxious or a father who's always been angry, somehow that gets passed on. Like sponges, babies and even we adults, we absorb from the environment. That absorption from the environment goes to the body as well, which is what you see begins to happen with somatic work, with the Ayurvedic work, that it is a cellular structure that begins to be worked upon. We see that even in NLP and Gestalt, or Gestalt, the way you want to call it, that this structure basically begins to dismantle itself from the cellular level. And it all makes sense, because if you look at neuroscience, if you look at the structure of the cells, it contains mitochondria, which is containing the DNA, specifically coming from the mom. A lot of information possibly coming your way. All I'm saying is that look at emotions. Even if you haven't been through shock or been through trauma, you would see that there is a body component to that. And yes, you would say that, you keep talking about a lot of things. How about telling us how to address that? So today, let's look at how we can address that component that is stored in the body with regards to the emotion. So let's say that the emotion A is something that you have worked with in your system emotionally, mentally. How about the physical aspect of it? When you go to the gym, when you tire your muscles out, when you go for that dance class, when you sign up for an aerobics lesson, all these things are basically ways for the body to shed off the extra energy. When you're looking at the emotions, feeling those emotions, looking at where you're feeling it in the body, and then giving it an outlet there, that's another thing we tend to do. A lot of times movement is actually very helpful. So wherever you're feeling, let's say that you're feeling the emotion here, and you begin to become aware of the emotion that is being felt and begin to move your body. As you move your body, the emotion begins to move. And experiment and see with that. When I say experiment, I mean please experiment with absolutely the smallest, most insignificant, unpleasant emotion. Don't go for the bigger monsters first. Go for the smaller monsters, something that you can handle on your own efficiently. A lot of times when we get into the emotion, it becomes very difficult to handle that. So stay away from wanting to experiment with the bigger monsters in your life. Do it with something which is absolutely trivial, absolutely insignificant. The third way that you can handle, or the fourth way that you can handle is when you have that emotion, you can begin to play with the structure of it, which is what we cover in NLP, right? Which is you look at the emotion which is felt here. Now this emotion, if it has movement, can it be drawn out of the body in some way? I must say, you got to be creative to be doing that. and in the somatic work, in the work of the integral eye movement therapy, and even in NLP, we talk about and go to greater depths about what do we do with those emotions that are stored in the body. The most important thing here is that no, a lot of times a mental or an emotional working through of a feeling may not help eradicate it, dissociate, disconnect with it completely. It may still have a strong emotional imprint because the body aspect of it has not been considered, has not been healed. Thank you. Take care. Wish you a life wherein these body aspects or your cellular body contains only happiness or a state of well-being as you want it. Thank you.